What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. For today, we are talking all things Disney. So as of yesterday, I posted on my Instagram. So yes, these videos are filmed very much in real time. I'm asking you guys what you want to hear. And a lot of you guys, like an alarming amount of people, said, let's talk Disney. So I posted up a questionnaire story so that you could literally ask me anything. There were some hilarious questions. There's some really great questions. I kind of quickly revised them, but I'm going to go through it like in the moment with you right now. But there was also a couple of comments under yesterday's Instagram post about seeing my Disney closet. So I thought, why don't we just do a quick Disney closet tour? And if you're new here, you're like, what is she talking about? It's not like a full, don't worry. It's still a little bit crazy, but I have a little area of which was supposed to be Andre's closet, but I've kind of taken it over. And it's just my ears, my bags, my clothes for Disney. I know it's, listen, as I'm saying it, I know it's crazy, but a lot of you guys want to see it and I'm happy to share. And then we'll go through all of like the Disney food, drinks, parks, just all things Disney. And let's jump into it. And I'm going to put on some ears for this because we need to. So if that's something you want to see, then just keep watching. Okay, so full explanation. This is a closet. This was supposed to be a big TV unit. We decided we didn't want a TV in our room. So this ended up being Andre's closet. And then this part of it ended up becoming mine, slowly but surely. I'm not gonna lie, that side is too. He doesn't really have that much clothes. I take up a lot of space apparently. So this is, I put in like this rack like pulls out with all the bags on it. I know, it's like a treasure chest of Disney. So I have all of my Loungefly bags as well as other bags in here. I'll go through all of them and I'll share them with you. And then up here, I have most of my ears in like a big clear bin. And you can see like there's like a light that turns on in here. So like a couple of my favorite ears, which are gonna come with me, we need to like sit down and actually talk about the favorites, but there's so many good things. These are like the couture of ears. These are by Madame Gaston and they're like absolutely, like you can see her little tag, Madame Gaston. They're all Swarovski crystals. I'm dead. Like I'm literally dead. And she has like polka dot ones. They're so beautiful. I'm literally obsessed with her stuff. You need to go check out her Instagram. So she's got a little shop and she makes them all herself. Now, if you want to talk, I'm kidding, but I was gonna say if you want to talk talent, I made these myself and there's a full video on how I made them. Now listen, I've had them for a while. They're a little bit heavy, but they're dang cute. They're like little donut ears. Before Disney came out with donut ears, I just want to say that. But I have a video on how I made them if you ever want to go check that out and laugh at old-fashioned Angie. So, okay, bags. This one is definitely going to come with me. So we're going to go to the parks in the near future and it'll be like around Christmas time. So I'm going to pack my Christmas things. These ears I shared in a huge Disney haul. So these are all my Halloween ears, which I didn't get to wear, but we're going to wear one today because we're going to talk Disney. Then in here, I've got my little Loungefly bag. So this is kind of like not a dupe, but a lesser expensive version of the Kate Spade one. The Kate Spade one is super expensive. This bag was just sent to me by an amazing subscriber and she hand painted all of this. I will link her Instagram down below. Like it's all like Disney food themed and she also painted, look how freaking cute this is with a blue churro. I'm definitely gonna bring these with me whenever we go. And then she also, these are like, I get asked a lot about the painted shoes. So she does this. Like I get asked if I do it for people, I don't. So if you want someone to do it for you, you can contact her. So she did like all different Disney food. I love it. So these are the ones that I painted for myself. So no secret, but I love Vanellope. And her little elastic is actually like 3D. It's really cute. It's like a licorice. Chagirl painted this. Pretty proud of myself. And then I also had done, these are a little bit more worn and torn. They have made it through many storms in Disney, but they survived nonetheless. So I have like a Lilo and Stitch one. And then this one, the other foot is just like Stitch on the surfboard. So what I do in here is I keep all of my sweaters and my tank tops and things that I want to bring to the park. So I have like Spirit jerseys, tank tops, and then I try and keep a designated space for things that I know are going to come on the next trip. So I just bought this, which is like a plaid Mickey cropped hoodie. I of course needed it. And then yeah, just a bunch of bags, a bunch of ears, and then there's all little skirts and clothing down there. So it's pretty well organized and it just keeps my normal day clothing away from the rest of the clothing, if that makes sense. I know it's ridiculous. Listen, you don't even need to tell me. I know it's ridiculous. So that's the tour of my little Disney closet. Up here I've got a little tray with our travel stuff, more bags back there, more ears. These were supposed to be for my birthday in Disney. We'll wear them next year. It's gonna be so weird like wrapping my head around the fact that we're gonna be in Disney next year on my birthday in our house. That blows my mind. So let's wear some ears. Let's wear some Halloween ears. I will link this Etsy shop as well for you guys. I love her ears. They're the same as my birthday ears. So let's set up and let's talk food, drinks, parks, all of the things. Let's do it. These are so cute. They're like little balloons. I feel like Disney has like kind of a version of these now coming for Christmas. Oh my gosh, their holiday collection, don't even get me started. So I've brewed myself a little cup of tea, and I just want to say that this cup was perfect for my tea because it's going to keep it warm under the hat. I love this mug. It kept going in and out of stock. Okay, so let's chat. See, this is why you need double-sided mugs. Like, I hold it this way, so I would love for you guys to experience it. So let's just, there we go. Listen, I realize I'm like a full child. There's like a little ghost handle. Love. Okay. So Destiny Jackson asked first timers must see do's and navigation tips. The best first timer tip I can give you is to figure out where you are eating. I think that as I watch people in the park that are there for the first time and it's obvious and they're frustrated, the frustration seems to come from not having a plan as to where they're gonna eat, and they wait till they're hangry and then they can't get in certain places. So I would say to have a reservation and kind of plan your day around that. So if you're planning to go to a certain park during the day, obviously right now you have to choose your park for the day. So an option would be to have lunch in that park and then maybe dinner at a hotel so that you have a little bit more freedom, or in Disney Springs. But I would say plan your day. Don't just leave it up to chance. But that being said, the other biggest tip that I will always have for a first timer is it will never be perfect, but whatever ends up happening by total fate or coincidence or by mistake will often also be the most memorable. So go with it. It's not going to be perfect, but it will be memorable and it will be amazing. So an ideal day at the parks, where would I go? Definitely, and this is a super common question. My favorite park is Animal Kingdom. So my ideal day, and whenever we go on my birthday, like I love to spend my birthday at Animal Kingdom. I've always loved Animal Kingdom, but I just feel like since Pandora opened, it's on a whole other level. At the same time, there was a question about what's the best park for adults? Definitely Epcot, because you can just walk around the world. It's super chill. It's not about rides. You can definitely go on a ride, like grab a margarita and go on the Donald Duck ride in Mexico. It's freaking fabulous. But if you're not about that and you want to just experience it, walk around, have food and adult beverages, then definitely Epcot. But at the same time, you can do that in Animal Kingdom and it's so pleasant. Like there's so many walking paths and beautiful places in Animal Kingdom, and you can walk around with a cocktail. You can get a Dole Whip with rum in it, and it's just so much fun. And I will say, and I know this might be shocking, Magic Kingdom is probably my least favorite park. We go to it usually once in a trip. It's definitely one of the most beautiful because the castle and the vibes, and it's so magical, but we never go at night. There's no, unless you're having dinner, but even then, I don't think that the restaurants are that much better than anywhere else. So we really don't go to Magic Kingdom that much, mostly for the fact that it is hands down always the busiest park, and to me, not worth it. So yes, still magical, still amazing, but in terms of just crowd control and enjoying yourself, I would say Animal Kingdom every day of the week. I freaking love it. Oh, so food. Food in the same breath, I really prefer not eating like a dinner meal. For lunch, like a grab and go, or sometimes we do a sit down, I love lunch in Epcot. Any of the pavilions, lunch in Epcot is fabulous. The English pavilion is phenomenal. I love the Chinese pavilion. It's always really quiet. That's a great tip for a new timer or a first timer. If you're stuck and you don't have somewhere to eat, go to Epcot. Because any of the main, like there's certain main restaurants that will be super busy, and then there's some, like the Chinese pavilion, that's always dead. And I don't know why. It's delicious and it's fabulous. The Japanese pavilion is super good too. There were a couple of questions about our favorite restaurants. So I would definitely say Flying Fish is right at the top, especially because it's now linked to Abracadabra, which is one of the best bars ever. Love that place. I love all the restaurants, like especially for dinner. I love restaurants and hotels. I just find that they're better. Jico is phenomenal. The Yachtsman Steakhouse at the Yacht Club. And we really do kind of try and keep to the boardwalk because it's usually where we stay also. So I have a little bit more preference towards that area just because it's so quaint and quiet and peaceful, and also an adult option. So one spot that we discovered, and see what I mean by like just going with it and figuring out, something got canceled. So the last year on my birthday, not this year because we didn't go this year, but last year there was a hurricane and nothing ever happened. Everything was fine in Disney, but everything got shut down just for that night. It was the night of my birthday. So they closed the restaurants, but someone at our hotel at the Yacht Club was so sweet, and he said, I'm pretty sure that the Swan and Dolphin are still open in terms of their restaurants. So he said, you should go eat at Il Molino's. We love Il Molino's. It's so good, and they have such good service, and we never ventured over to the Swan and Dolphin. By the way, if you can hear construction noises, I'm really sorry. They're pouring cement next door. There's nothing I can do. You're along on the ride with me. So, like, honestly, I could talk about Disney food all day long, but Gigo is phenomenal. They have one of the widest ranges of South African wines, I think, in the world other than South Africa, which is pretty impressive. Like, Disney does crazy stuff like that. I love the Riviera. We just stayed there. I would love to go eat at that restaurant. The Grand Destino restaurant. Like, I've never eaten there, but I'm trying to think of places that not everybody goes to. Like, yes, Cellier is great and all of the, you know, the more popular restaurants, but where else? Disney Springs, Jaleo's has the best margarita ever, and it's very like Sharesy. It's very like Spanish fusion style. So good. Jock's Hangar Bar, love it there. Not necessarily for dinner, just more so for drinks. See, I hear myself right now, and I'm like I sound like a record player that's just like, blah, blah, blah. Talk about Disney food and drinks all day long. My favorite ride right now, definitely Flight of Passage. I love Flight of Passage. The first time I went on it, I closed my eyes the entire time. I was terrified. I also have a warm spot in my heart for Slinky Dog. Can I just be real? More so for the fact that Andre just loses his mind every time we go on Slinky Dog. It's hilarious. Like, he always says like it's not scary, and then he's on it and it's literally as though he's about to die. But he's just like, but he has so much fun and we love it. So his favorite, and I love it too for that reason, we love Toy Story Midway Mania. And that was a really good question. Someone said, if you could only go on one ride until the end of time, what would it be? And I said Toy Story Midway Mania, because it'll always be different. You can improve and you can get better. And Andre and I get really competitive. And I don't know if you know this about Toy Story Midway Mania, but there's like unlockable situations. So like if you both hit the yellow plates at the same time, it'll like unlock a ton of plates falling from the sky. So that's how you get up to those like crazy numbers. And Andre and I have done it a couple times, and we get winded. I literally just posted a story yesterday of Woody's arm like half sewn off, and it's like me at the end of Toy Story Mania, and I was like, yes. What are my favorite resorts? I love the Yacht Club. I love the Yacht Club. We always have, in the recent past, have done the concierge floor at the Yacht Club, just for the mere fact that you have like a really nice little... You know what? We're gonna turn this into like a little house tour because this is ridiculous. Let's go into the living room. It'll probably be more quiet. I do apologize for the noise. This is literally how we live our life. But we have a video to get up, so I need to talk to you guys. So I'm gonna bring my tea downstairs and we're gonna continue this conversation. Welcome to my living room. I don't know how much quieter it's gonna be down here and for how long, but it is what it is. There's some really good questions in here. So to finish the answer of the hotels, we usually stay at the Yacht Club. We love the concierge level. We more so love it just because of the little snack area, which doesn't exist anymore, obviously. I don't even think it's open. So there's like this little room where you can have breakfast and it's included, and there's snacks and cocktail hour. So it's just super convenient coming in and out of the parks, and we love it. And that's usually where we'll set up at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll set up and work for a couple hours, and we'll have cocktail hour. It's super pleasant. We love it. This time what we're gonna do is stay at the Boardwalk Hotel, and we will stay in a villa just so that we have more space and we can do like room service or whatever. Okay, I think that they've calmed down. So we're staying at the Boardwalk. We are going to get a villa so that we have more space. We can order food, we can have our drinks there, and I just feel like it'll make more sense doing that. We shall see. The Polynesian is also beautiful. We've never stayed there. I've just spent a lot of time in there and eating there. The Grand Floridian is amazing, but I would say the Yacht Club is probably the best. The Boardwalk is also amazing. Oh, and Animal Kingdom Lodge is like the best ever. The only thing with Animal Kingdom Lodge, I would totally stay there more. It's just so off the beaten path that you're not really close to anything. So it's kind of a toss up. We're considering staying there maybe for a couple nights, and I would love to stay at one of the cottages at Copper Creek in Four Wilderness Lodge. I think that would be phenomenal. There are some really interesting questions in here. What is my favorite time of the day to go to the parks? So favorite time, there was a lot of questions about what time of year. I love going in the spring. I always love going in the fall. Just the thing with the fall and early September is it's hurricane season. So yes, it's cheaper, but the park could get shut down at any time, and it's happened to us quite a few times. And it never ends up being anything terrible, but it's still stressful and annoying. But in May, the weather is super good. It's so beautiful. It's quiet. I love going then. And obviously I love going at Christmas. Best time of day, weekday, I avoid Magic Kingdom on Saturdays, weekday for sure. And we go early-ish in the morning. We never enter a park from like noon till 3. I don't know if we just feel like it gets peak busy at like noonish. So we usually will go in the morning, have lunch, and then leave, and then switch parks later in the afternoon or evening. That's usually how we do it. Monorail, ferry, or Skyliner. I love the Skyliner. Like the first time I went on, I was a little bit freaked out, but I feel like right now, especially the one thing I said about the Skyliner is that it's really annoying when they were jamming a bunch of families into one Skyliner. Like we went with Andre's parents, ourselves, and then they put us in there with another family of I think 4. It was just uncomfortable. So I don't think that would be happening now. So my answer then would be the Skyliner for sure, because the ferry moves way too slow for my pace. I need to get there faster. And the monorail, I feel like it smells funny. That's just my honest answer. Disneyland or Disney World? I used to have no answer for this, and I do now. I would say Disney World, just because Disneyland, and I have a full video on this, Disneyland versus Disney World, and there's like a full in-depth and it gets sassy. It really drives me crazy that Disneyland shuts down things so early where they just kind of leave you like there's nothing for you to do. And it's not like I'm looking to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning here, but just when we were there last fall, it was really frustrating how things were just shut down. You couldn't get a drink anywhere. You couldn't go into a shop anywhere. Things were just shut down. So I just thought that was weird. And because it's so small, your options are limited. So in terms of restaurants and all of that. So definitely Disney World for that reason. And also Disney World is just closer for us. So Disney World. But the history of Disneyland is amazing. This is such a good question. If you had to, what's the craziest piece of decor from the park that you would have in your house? I know that Andre can hear this and I feel like he'll agree with me. That massive castle that's on Main Street and it's covered in Swarovski crystals. It is an obscene amount of money. I don't even know how much money it is. It is stupid. The other thing that I would love is the Stormtrooper that's really similar. He's like a Swarovski crystal Stormtrooper. Listen, I don't need it in my life, but if it was handed to me, oh yes, I think it's so cool. And I would definitely display it in the Disney house. I think that'd be so neat. There was someone that was selling a house in Golden Oak that had the Stormtrooper, and that's what made me want it. He had Darth Vader in a Stormtrooper in his wine. He had like a wall of wine, like a bunch of wine bottles, like a wine cellar area. And he had the 2 busts of Darth Vader, and it was so cool. And I'm not even that big of a Star Wars fan, but I still think it's really cool. Best makeup and hair tips for cute Disney park cuteness. Comfort first. And someone asked this also, like, do my feet ever get sore around the parks? And I feel like that was asked because I have like somewhat cute outfits sometimes. I'm comfort first. So the shoes that I wear are super comfortable. They're like little lace-up sneakers. And I don't really wear like running shoes usually. They're like flat lace-up little, and I wear like little socks, like those little thin socks in them so that I don't get any blisters. And then I usually will wear some like bloomers or little shorts and then with a skirt on top so that I'm like free flowing and happy. And then I'll usually just wear like a cute graphic tank and the ears. But for hair, take it from me, don't wear extensions in the park. I did that for a long time. It's the most uncomfortable thing in the world. The other thing is weather. If it gets cold or hot, oh my gosh. Last year when we were there in the fall, it was super, super hot because a hurricane had just passed through and there was like a heat wave after, and it was so hot. And then when we went in December, it was freezing cold and I just bought myself a onesie. There's all videos of this. So we have a Christmas party video from last year where I share all of that. And then we have a Halloween party from last year as well that we did. And I share like all of my favorite tips, where we ate, what we do the day of the party, the Jingle Jam, Jingle Bam, which I know is not happening this year, but that was like a highlight last year. That was so much fun. How far do you book in advance? Usually as far ahead as you can. Like as soon as my trip is booked, I'll book it if it's within the window of booking, because I hate that feeling of wanting to go somewhere, wanting to eat at a certain place and you can't. This one isn't really Disney related in terms of parks, but it's Disney home related. So I will definitely answer this, and with a lot of gusto. Which one is better, Confectionery Soaps Co. or Magic Candle Co. and why? Confectionery Soaps Co. every day of the week. So last year I had a couple of Magic Candle Co. candles. Confectionery Soaps Co. is 1,000 times better. And I feel like some people that have dealt with the customer service of Magic Candle Co. will agree with that. We're just gonna leave it at that. Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach? Typhoon Lagoon for sure. But that being said, we haven't gone to the water parks in such a long time because we were paying extra to go, and we would only go for a couple hours in the morning and then we would be done with it. And we'd usually just do one of the water parks on our trip. So we stopped doing that, but definitely Typhoon Lagoon. I love the vibes of Typhoon Lagoon. Blizzard Beach makes me feel cold when I'm there. I know that's weird. I love Typhoon Lagoon. Oh, and fun fact, there's like this amazing snack at Typhoon Lagoon called like a shark bite or something. And it's like shaved ice with like a bunch of, oh, that delicious, what's it called? That cream. You guys have, if you're a baker, you know what I'm talking about. And then there's like, basically it just looks like a shark bite. It's like a big shark mouth and then there's like grenadine on it. It's fabulous. Oh, this is such a good question. Favorite Disney spots for drinks with a view? Animal Kingdom, at Nomad Lounge, outside. You're on the water, so the whole restaurant wraps around the water, and especially at night, it's so beautiful. At sunset, oh, it's amazing. And in the bushes, you can hear like the noises from Pandora. It's very cool. It's a little bit eerie, but like it's very magical and very Disney. And they have the best martinis. They have a beautiful charcuterie board. They have the best cocktails. They have glow cube cocktails, like amazing. What's the longest that I've ever waited for a show or for a ride? It was at Disneyland and it was for Cars. And we probably waited 70 minutes, which I know to those of you that are lifers are like, that's not that long. I don't play the waiting game. I'll usually just try and get a fast pass for something or we get lucky. Like when the Star Wars Land opened at Disney World, that was the weekend of the big hurricane, so nobody was there. So we actually walked right on to that ride. What is that ride called? Andre, what's the Star Wars ride called? The first one. Smuggler's Run. So we walked right on to Smuggler's Run. I think we waited maybe 10 or 15 minutes and that was just luck and it had just opened. So either we get lucky or we find a fast pass for something. Now, I do not know what we're gonna do for Rise of the Resistance. I do not know what we're gonna do for when Ratatouille comes out. I think that's gonna be one of my favorite rides. I do not know what we're gonna do for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway. We have not done any of that. So we shall see. But I don't mind waiting. I like waiting. I would love to wait in the normal queue for Pandora or for Flight of Passage. We've never waited in the normal queue. We've only ever done Fast Pass for that. So I think that would be really cool. But yeah, that's the longest was for Cars and it was totally worth it. Favorite ride at Epcot? It depends. I love Test Track because it's fun, but Soarin' is probably one of our favorites and I love Frozen. Frozen is like the most beautiful and I get all the vibes. I love it. Is the dining plan worth it? That's such a good question. We always used to get the dining plan and after a while we started to realize how much freaking food it was. We started getting we got the basic dining plan and then after a while we were getting the deluxe dining plan. It is so much food. And then you kind of feel like you have to have dessert because it's included and you just end up overeating. And we ended up getting sick every time we were there. Like we'd end up getting a cold because we were consuming so much freaking sugar. So we stopped doing it. We ended up just, listen, budget-wise, it's easier to budget your trip if you do have the dining plan and if you have kids and you want to just like let them do their thing 100%, but you end up with way extra snack credits at the end. Like we would just come home and get a bunch of candy and huge lollipops for our coaches and give them as gifts because we didn't know what to do with all of the credits. And we were consuming way more than we should have just for the sheer fact that it was included. So is it worth it? It really depends on how you eat, what you enjoy, if you have kids too. But yeah, it's definitely expensive and it's a ton of food. Listen, you get your bang for your buck. If you want to eat food, you will eat very well. What do you recommend are the must-dos if you're only at the park for a few days? This is totally preference, but I personally would get up early. I would go to the park that opens up first. If there's extra magic hours, hit that park first in the morning so that you could probably double up. Now, obviously, all of this changes now. Like none of these rules apply now. If it was right now, you'd have to pick one park a day and then you could maybe do a resort or Disney Springs at night to double up, but you have to do one park a day right now. So what I would personally do, and this is just me, I wouldn't do Magic Kingdom. And if you've never been, I know that that's kind of hard. So if you want to see the castle, obviously go. But if I had a couple days, I wouldn't go to Magic Kingdom. I would probably do Animal Kingdom and dinner at Disney Springs and do Flight of Passage because you'll just be that much less rushed. But if it's your first time at Disney and you're only there for a couple days, definitely obviously do Magic Kingdom because you got to see the castle. But I'm just saying it's the busiest park for sure, and there isn't necessarily more and better rides. It's just it's the original, it's the most magical. What are the best drinks in Epcot? I don't like beer, cocktails, and mixed drinks, please. Girl, I got you. So definitely the margaritas in Mexico, the Grand Marnier slush in France. Whenever there's the food and wine, there's an amazing rum punch at the Hawaiian Pavilion, but that's only during the food and wine, and it is So freaking good. That with the little bun, there's like this little pulled pork bun with the punch, the best. Andre and I did a full food and wine video walkthrough. Like there's a lot of Disney videos on my channel. I'm realizing this. There's like a top 10 must-dos of Disney, or hits and misses or something like that. And then a top 10 of Disneyland. There's a Disney World versus Disneyland video. There's a day in the life at Magic Kingdom. There's a day in the life of Hollywood Studios. And there's a full food and wine from last year with all the drinks. We did the half of the pavilion for one day and then the other half the next day. Oh, this is a really good question. What is the best moderate price Disney resort for a couple without kids? Andre and I stayed at the Pop Century, which is a value resort. It's not even a moderate resort, and we loved it. This is my take on moderate resorts, and it's just my opinion, but they're so big that I feel like you'd be better off staying at a value resort because you don't have to take the bus to every single stop around the resort. If you stay somewhere like, I think it's Saratoga or Coronado, which are the moderate resorts, I'm fairly certain, because we've experienced this, where the bus has to stop at multiple stops throughout the resort before you actually leave the resort because it's just so big. So with that said, I loved Pop Century. I thought it was amazing. It's beautiful and you can take the Skyliner, like it's awesome. So I would say, without kids, stay there. It's super fun. The other option is you could stay at one of the hotels that's near Disney Springs if you don't have kids and you want to just experience Disney Springs more, or the Swan and Dolphin. So if you don't want to pay for boardwalk, yacht, or beach, stay at the Swan and Dolphin. I know that they're not necessarily moderate. I feel like they're moderate. Do they have as much Disney magic? Not really, but the bar is pretty phenomenal. Like Andre and I walk over there to go to the bar. It's pretty sweet. So I would say do that, and then you have the best location. There's a question about, do we collect pins and participate in pin trading? We've considered it because we used to love Vinylmations, and Vinylmations are basically like the cutest little vinyl toy dolls, and they all have Mickey ears. They're phenomenal. We have like hundreds of them in the basement, and that has been discontinued, and it's very sad. So for that reason, we've considered the pin thing, but it's not the same. So no, we haven't done it. I don't have any. Who is the louder rider screamer, you or your husband? Definitely me. I'm very dramatic on rides. The most dramatic rides that I go on is I scream on Dinosaur every single time. Scares the bejesus out of me, but I love that ride. It's one of my favorite rides. Indiana Jones, which is very similar, just at Disneyland. The Matterhorn, lose my mind on that. And I'm just like, I can't help it. Like if I'm jittery or I'm jumpy. But in terms of roller coasters, definitely Andre. Andre is hilarious on Slinky Dog. Oh, there was a question about our rituals. Like if we have a Disney ritual of, their ritual was that they go to Earl of Sandwich on their way out. We have something similar on our way out, but it's at the Orlando airport, and we always get a Blooming Onion at the Orlando airport. But when we arrive, for the longest time, we used to always go to the Mexican pavilion and we would eat inside. But I'm trying to think of what we do now. It's been way too long since we've been there, so now I'm forgetting our rituals. Andre, what's the restaurant there we always eat at when we arrive? Oh yeah, no, but where do we go for dinner? Oh, Coral Reef. Okay, so that was our new. So one thing that we always, and this has always been what we do, the first spot that we arrive, and we usually arrive in time for lunch, so we will go to Via Napoli for lunch. And then our dinner recently has always been Coral Reef. I love Coral Reef. It's phenomenal. And I can eat, Andre, you should tell everyone how many crab legs I can eat. He said I'm a beast. I get like the big plate of crab legs with a side of broccoli and a martini, and I'm happy as a little clam. It's delightful there. I love it. Who is the scariest Disney villain? Anyone that knows this movie will agree with me. There was a movie when we were younger called The Black Cauldron. And there's some chick or some like troll that goes behind a door and like closes the door. That is the scariest Disney villain, hands down. Oh, there's a question, do we ever want to visit other parks like Shanghai, Paris? Yes, absolutely. Andre really, really wants to go to Tokyo, so I'm sure that will eventually happen. But yeah, I think we would love it. So there's a question, what is your favorite cast member memory of someone going above and beyond the Call of Duty? So it has definitely happened many times that someone goes above and beyond, but there was one time that I wasn't feeling well when we were in the parks and we had to cancel our reservation. I was so disappointed because we were going to California Grill. So we were staying at the Yacht Club, we walked upstairs, we asked her if she could cancel it because there was no way that we could cancel it, and we were scared that we were gonna get charged like a fee if we canceled it, and I also just felt really bad. And she said, no worries, she's got it, and we told her like I just wasn't feeling well and it just sucked and we didn't end up doing anything for dinner. I think Andre just went down to the pub and grabbed himself something, and she ended up putting a credit on our account to go for dinner on another time. And she's like, just go to dinner later, like another day on me. And I just thought that was so sweet. That was like above and beyond. And the same cast member, when we returned, got us, along with her friend, like we've started to make friends with all these people. I don't want to say their name just for their privacy, but they're amazing, and I'm pretty sure that she might see this, and she's so sweet. So those sugar cubes that I always have on my tiered tray, they're super special. I don't use them because they were a gift from the girl that did this, as well as another awesome, the best cocktail maker in Disney. So they put together this little gift set when they heard that we bought our house, because we had bought our house specifically that trip, like it had all gone down that trip. They got us 2 Yacht Club mugs, and they put some little Mickey sugar cubes in it, and they wrote us a beautiful card, like from the staff, just saying congratulations. And it was so sweet, and it was waiting for us in our room. Like they just above and beyond. Okay, so one last question. So I'll try and combine a couple of questions. So there was a question about what our favorite holiday is to spend there, or favorite festival. As amazing as Halloween is when we're there, and as amazing as the food and wine show is, Christmas is so magical. Like the snow and the parade and the parties and it's over the top. And the cool thing is that there's things that aren't even that popular, like the Jingle Jam, Jingle Bam party, and little add-ons and little things that you don't necessarily know about that are phenomenal. So for that reason, I would definitely say Christmas. I love the shopping at Christmas time. I love the items, and that's definitely one of our best memories. We totally did the Jingle Jam, Jingle Bam on a total whim. Someone said to do it, and they said it's super good, have the drinks, and we had so much fun. Like it was so cool. We had all the different Christmas cocktails, and there's like this huge buffet of food and like snacks, and then there's a character meet and greet it's all private and roped off, and then you can walk up to the front of Hollywood Studios, and there's like a laser show of Jingle Jam, Jingle Bam. And I'm pretty sure that it also included, I think now it includes, well, it doesn't exist now, but I think it was the Star Wars one for a while. When we were there, it was like a Disney animation fireworks show, and then tacked on to the Prep and Landing, which, fun fact, is one of my favorite Christmas short films ever. I love it. So for it to be that party and themed after that, I think that's the coolest thing. So yeah, I would say that's definitely one of our best memories. The other memory that we always talk about was one of the first times that we ever went to Disney, that we stayed at a non-value resort. We stayed at the Boardwalk, and it was a huge goal to be able to do that. And we did it. We made it happen. And just that memory of sitting on that, there's like one specific bench that we sat on, and we were like, we did it. Like we made it happen. And it was all just from our business and growing our business and wanting to be able to go. And that's a big question I'm seeing, like, how do you budget to go? We both work from home. We wanted the freedom to be able to do that. And that was our big reason why, is we want to be able to do things like go to Disney 3 to 4 times a year. And that's our motivation. That's why we work so hard. So to not have a boss and to not have someone schedule us and tell us when we can go, and we can work from anywhere also. So that's a huge way that we do it. So that moment that we were kind of realized that we had done it and we made happen such a huge goal was just everything. It was such a memorable experience, and we loved it. Another, probably one of the best memories, was the first time we had ever toured Golden Oak ever. We went to the Four Seasons for dinner. The rooftop restaurant Kappa is phenomenal. I freaking love that restaurant. And we had just met with a couple of the residents who, it was just so inspiring. It was like, my mind was literally blown. And we had a martini, Andre had a Negroni, and we were just like on cloud 9 the whole time. We literally just did a update on our Disney build, and we talked all about that experience. And it's like, that's definitely one of our favorite memories ever. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to come, but that's definitely it. This video has been, I think, super long, so hopefully you're enjoying yourself. But I could go on about this forever. I hope that you enjoyed the little sit down Q&A and moving all over the house. But if there's something that I didn't answer, just comment it down below, and I will be on my comments and my DMs and answer as many as I possibly can. And we will do more Disney videos. Heck, we're going, so we're gonna sit down and chat Disney while we're there. So if you liked this, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss any of the future videos, and following on Instagram, because there's like a ton of Disney stuff on Instagram as well. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye, dudes.